Hello and welcome to this full tutorial for beginners for Google Sheets. If you are looking for a video that's going to get you up and running with Google Sheets from start to finish, this is the video for you. So what is Google Sheets? Google Sheets is a spreadsheet software provided by Google for free. Think of Microsoft Excel, but an online web-based version that is free and allows you to do basically not everything that something premium like Microsoft Excel can do, but for the most part, 95% of what you could do there. It's a great way to input and view data. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have a Google account active and log into your Gmail or Google account. And then once you are there, like if I go here and open up my Gmail, if I scroll down enough, I should see Google Sheets or the icon there somewhere. If not, if you don't see it, basically you can just Google Google Sheets and it'll take you here, and then go to Sheets, and then it'll take you to your little homepage here for Google Sheets, or you can just go to sheets.google.com. There's so many ways to get here. Now, there are a number of ways to create a new spreadsheet, or what they call a workbook, once you have multiple spreadsheets involved within Google Sheets. Once here, you can see you can create a blank workbook or spreadsheet right here. But just quickly, I want to show you that they do provide you with a template gallery where you can go here and look at the different templates that Google Sheets provides to you for free. So let's say you're looking for one for a schedule. You can click on that template here. It'll open it up and allow you to create and edit that template from within Google Sheets. But for the purposes of this video, I am going to show you from start to finish creating a blank spreadsheet or workbook and what that looks like. Also, once you start creating and having spreadsheets within your Google Sheets account, you'll see them here under the Today view, or like the previous 7-day view. As you can see, anything that you're doing within Google Sheets, you can see in the view history here down below. Also, I wanted to show you briefly that if you log into your Google Drive and go to the homepage here, drive.google.com, you can just click on New, and then right here go to Google Sheets, click the arrow, and then create either a blank spreadsheet or from a template right here from your Google Drive account. Here we are within our first spreadsheet. Also, this is going to be a very long video, and so there will be timestamps down below for you to hop back and forth between the things that you want to learn and the things that you want to dive into deeper. So here we are on our untitled spreadsheet. We have our top bar up here. The first thing that you want to do is go ahead and give your spreadsheet a name. So if you just double click right here where it says Untitled Spreadsheet, you will be able to give your spreadsheet a name. So I went ahead and titled my spreadsheet Total Sales for 2023. Once you have completed or named your spreadsheet, you can just click away, or you can hit enter on your keyboard, and as you can see, it'll automatically save that there. Couple of things I want to notate here is to the right of the title of your spreadsheet, you can see where you can star this. Basically what this means is when we go back to the sheets.google.com page there, it'll be showed as a favorite. And if you go back to your Google Drive, which is what I've done here, you'll see it here starred, which means that it's, one of your favorites or starred files. And then if we click on the starred items here, which is just a filter, it'll show you everything that has been starred within your Google Drive. So basically, that's going to allow you to do that there. Also, if you click on this folder here, you can click Move, and this will allow you to move this specific file that you're creating now to any folder or location within your Google Drive. Your Google Drive is where you house things, and then your Sheets is just going to be the worksheet or the spreadsheet that we're working on now. Also, to the right of that, you're going to see a little cloud icon that says See Document Status. Basically, this lets you know that it's always auto-saving, and if there is a check mark in the middle of the cloud, the changes that you've made have been saved or auto-saved by Google Sheets. So make sure that has a check mark there before you hop off or go to something else on your browser. Next, we're going to talk about the construction of a spreadsheet. So what we see up here are our columns. What we see down below here are our rows. Individual blocks or boxes here, whatever you want to call those, are referred to as cells. So we have columns and rows, and then within those, we have cells. Now, in order to see what a cell is titled or named, you need to just select into that cell, and you can see this one here is C5. Always, the column's going to come first, and the row will come second. So column C, row 5, it's obviously going to be cell number C5. Very easy to understand. Now, the first thing I like to do when working within Google Sheets is to increase the zoom. That allows me to work on my spreadsheet better, and it just looks better. So what you would want to do here in the toolbar is just select the drop-down menu here under Zoom where you see 100%, and then maybe go up to 125% or beyond, depending on your preferences. Now, the first thing you obviously want to do within a spreadsheet is insert some data. So the easiest way of doing that is just selecting or going into a specific cell and start typing in your data. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and start typing, and I'm going to type in January, which is the first month, and then I'm going to go ahead and type in February. Now, to save yourself some time, Google Sheets has something that is called autofill or auto formatting. Autofill is what we're using now, and then we'll auto format here in just a bit. So you don't have to type in the entire year, January, February, March, etc. What you would want to do is just go ahead and select the two cells that you've already typed in, and you're going to see a circle right here. Now, when you hover over that circle, you'll see a little cross symbol there. If we click and hold and drag, you're going to see the little dotted lines. Click and hold and drag. Google Sheets should be smart enough to see the pattern that you are creating. The same goes for numerical values. If we are typing in numbers here, 1, 2, 3, if we select and hold that number timeline there, and then click over the little circle there, you can see it should autofill and be smart enough to know the pattern that we are creating. Now, in order to get something or remove something from a cell, you can just select or highlight it and then just click the delete or backspace button on your keyboard, and that will automatically remove something. Also, if we type something in and it's incorrect, instead of having to go back and delete that, we can also use these undo buttons right here. You can undo or redo. This is very helpful when you are typing things out and you're like, oh, I messed up a whole row. You can go ahead and just click the undo button there, and you can see it automatically undid what you had just done, right? Or you can do Command or Control Z as a keyboard shortcut like what I'll do now, and that does the same exact thing. So again, just remember when you start typing in things, if it is a pattern, you can use the Smart Fill function within Google Sheets. Now what we are going to do is we are going to type in some numbers, and I'm going to do that now. All right, once we have our data here, let's go ahead and start making our spreadsheet look a little better before we go any farther. So what I like to do is select everywhere where I think I want my spreadsheet to be. This can always be changed, right? And then what you would want to do is go up to Format, and then once under Format, go to Alternating Colors. Now, as you can see, I'm going to be selecting a yellow or an orangish color, and you can even go deeper than that. Right now, it's just alternating between the dark yellow as the kind of title or header up here, and then it has white and then very faint yellow down below. It allows you to view your data much easier, and it just looks better. So when you're sharing and sending this and working with colleagues, it just looks better. But over here, you can see Apply to Range. It's applying to all of the range that I selected, which was A1 to C15. Styles, we have the header here, and we can even go to Footer, and that gives the footer a style as well. If we want to change these colors, you can scroll down here and we can give the header color to be something different. If you want the header color to be a red, you can do that like that. But normally I just stick with what Google Sheets provides because the colors they have selected just go well together. But if you wanted to, you could go here and select the drop-down menus and select a custom color for whatever you want here. And then once you are ready to go, you can just click on Done. All right, now that you have some data into your spreadsheet, how do you format the data to make it look and feel like you want it to? So over here, this data set, which is the total sales for a specific month, really needs to be formatted as, with a $sign and as money, right? So with that being the case, you would need to select that data, and then right here you can go to Format, and then as you can see, if it's a number, you can go over number, and you can choose different numerical formatting themes. Like right here, you have like one that says currency rounded. If it's a date, you can do it in date format here. But for the purposes of this video, it's very easy to just go over here and go to currency. And as you can see, it adds the decimal place there. It adds the $sign, and it just looks better, right? If we wanted to, we could even select the data once again, and we could reduce the decimal places, or we could increase the decimal places by these little quick hotkeys up here in your toolbar. And if you ever need to know what something does within the toolbar, you just hover your mouse over it, and you can see that this formats as currency. This formats as percentage, and this will decrease or increase decimal places, and then this will allow you to choose more formats down below. So now we have our formatting of this here. Anything within Google Sheets, if you want to format the way that it looks, it should all be up here. If you've ever used Microsoft Word or a word processor, you can see I can select the data set here, and if I wanted to increase the font size, I could just go ahead and hit the plus or minus symbol there, and that would increase or decrease the font size. I could even go and bold and italicize by just going up here and clicking on the bold and italicize options, but for the purposes of the video, I am not going to do that. Now, let's say you type something in a column, like right here in column C, like I put a couple of names here, who's in charge of the sales within January. You can see that this column does not hold it, so it looks bad. It's kind of overlapping. You got column D over here. In order to resize columns or rows, you just need to hover over the line between the columns where you want to increase or decrease the size. Click and hold. A gray line will come up, and you can increase this to be as long or as small, long or as short as you want it to be. Now, there is an easy way of doing this. If you go back up here to the little intersection between the two columns, you can just double-click. By double-clicking on your mouse, it makes it perfect, right? Also, if you ever want to select everything within a workbook or a spreadsheet, you click this little empty icon right here between the column A and row 1, and that'll select everything all the way up to row 1000 and all the way to like column, I'm not exactly sure, but it basically, let's like select all, right? That's how you select everything. So if I wanted to, I can go here and I can double click. That'll go ahead and format that row size there, and then I can double click on B and it will format that row size for me as well. When you do this, it's going to make it as big as the largest data bit in that column, right? So for this one, it's December, for this one, it's 5,500, and for this one, it's obviously this information here. So that's how you resize columns and rows. All right, now I want to talk a bit about conditional formatting. What is conditional formatting? All right, so for the example of conditional formatting, quickly, I want to show you exactly what this does. This is a blood pressure log within Google Sheets that allows you to track what your blood pressure is on a daily basis. If I type in 150 here, it's going to show up as red. Why? Because that's bad. So I have conditional formatting set up here on this spreadsheet. This is actually a template that I've kind of customized myself to, if you type in a high number here, but let's say your low number was 72, it's not going to have a color because it's fine, right? But if you type in, say, 85, so if we go to 85, that's going to be slightly elevated, so it's yellow. But if this bottom number is 100, it's red, right? Conditional formatting allows you to visually see things about data, very important things about data. Think of it like a heat map for your spreadsheets. So in order to do this, you would just select the data that you want to add conditional formatting to, like what I'm doing here, and then go to Format, and then you'll see something here that says Conditional Formatting. So what we're going to do for the purposes of this video is we're going to go and say on the drop-down menu, if the value is greater than, say, $500, okay, it's going to show up as green. So anything here above the $500 range in this data set is going to show up as green. Now, if we want to add another rule, so we'll go to Add Another Rule, and we will say if the cell is less than 500, we want that to show up as red. All right, and once you've done that, you can see now that any value under the $500 range will show up as red. Now, the beauty of this, let's say you got a number wrong. Let's say that May, actually, the cells were $600. So double click into that cell, change it to 600, and look at that. Conditional formatting will keep it up to date, okay? So that is how you add conditional formatting. When you're in a table like we are here, you're going to want to add headers or titles. So right below here, you can go ahead and type in, say, month. Right here, you'll go ahead and do sales. And then in column C, we'll do people in charge, right? But I don't like the way that looks. I want it to be centered. So I select and highlight, and I go over here and I just go to my formatting tab and go to center. And as you can see, it's now centered. And I can even do what I did and told you earlier, and I will go ahead and make it bold so it looks more like a title or a header of the spreadsheet. When we start getting more years and more months within the spreadsheet and we scroll down, look at this. It's frustrating because we can't see those header or the header row up above. So in order to freeze this row to where you can see it no matter how far you scroll down, is you go right up here to the View option. So go to View in the toolbar and go to Freeze. And we want to freeze one row. Now, we could freeze 2 rows if we wanted to. We could freeze columns if we wanted to. We could go all the way up to row 9 if we wanted to. But what we wanted to do is just freeze one row, and you'll see a gray line come underneath the row that you're freezing. And now when we scroll down, look at that. The header row will automatically, I call it a sticky row. You can call it a frozen row. It doesn't really matter. This allows you to always see your headers and titles regardless of how far down you get in your spreadsheet. Now, let's say we want to add a column, or a row for that matter. We want to add a column in between B and C. So what we would do is we would just right-click on column B right here, and you can see we can insert one column to the left or insert one row above. So what I want to do is right-click on column C, and I want to insert one column to the left, just like this, and there you go. You've got a column inserted here into the left. All right, and we went ahead and named that column number of units, and we've given it a numerical value for the data. Now, it's way wider than we need it to be, so we'll just go ahead and double-click that there, and it will go ahead and change that size to be the length of the largest unit in that data set. And then the last thing I want to show you kind of about the table here is that realistically, we don't need to know who's in charge right here. So what I want to do is show you how to hide a column. Now, it's not going to delete it because you may still need this data, whether it be notes or comments as you're sharing and collaborating, but you may want to hide it just to make the table look better or more condensed. In order to hide a column or a row, you would just right-click on said column, and you can see now you'll have an option that says Hide Column. When you hide a column, you'll see a little arrow, left and right arrow come up here, and if we click the right arrow, you can see it'll make that column visible once more. So right-click, go to Hide Column. If you ever want to see it again, you just click on the right arrow to expand it, and you should be good to go, and you are able to see what you've just hidden. All right, now we want to see some specific information about a specific cell, right? One of the cool things about Google Sheets is that I can click into a cell, and when I do that, it's going to show me up here exactly what the value is, right? If I want to find out some more information about the stats or information about this specific cell, right here in the lower right-hand corner, there's an option to open Explore, and it's going to show you basically from A1 to D13, so from here all the way down to here, it's going to show me some information and analysis about the data. It's going to show me some charts. It's going to show me average sales. If I want average sales, I can see the average sale is going to be this amount here. It just goes ahead and figures out what you might want to know from your table and provides it for you here. Not only that, you can click and hold these charts and drag them into your spreadsheet. We'll talk about charts here in a minute, but that's something that you can do. Also, if you select a bit of data right here, it also in the lower right-hand corner provides you right here with some more information very quickly. I call this the quick glance, and you can see that it sums that up. So that's 490 total there. So if we click that drop-down menu, it'll show you the sum of that data set. It'll show you the average of that data set, the minimum, maximum. You get the point, right? Just a quick little, if you want to know, hey, what was the average for this year? You can click and highlight, and you can see really quickly, average was 49, okay? So that's how you get quick bits of information about different cells through the Explore option. Now we're getting into the fun part of Google Sheets and any spreadsheet software for that matter. That is the formulas and functions. All right, so formulas are going to be the ability to type in a formula that will then produce you information from a data set that can be ever-changing. So these sales numbers can be changed and edited at any time, and the formula will stay the same, but provide you the result you want because it's going to continually adjust as your data changes as well. So let's go over the 4 most simplest formulas first, and then we'll briefly talk about functions, and then we'll be good to go. So to start a formula, what you would want to do is go ahead and type in the equal symbol on your keyboard, and as you can see, through the smart function here of Google Sheets, it automatically thinks that I want the sum of my sales, which is going to be from row B4 all the way down to B13, and it'll show you via the dotted lines here highlighted around that data. But I'm going to show you how to manually do it. So if we go to equals and then go to sum, which is going to be the sum of a specific set of numbers, And then we have to go ahead and type in parentheses. This is going to be the start of our data set, which is going to be B4. Okay, that's where our data starts. But I'm going to show you how to do it manually. So go ahead and type in the equal symbol, and then go ahead and type in sum, which is going to give the sum of a specific data set, and then type in parentheses, which shows you basically this is where the data starts. So for me, it's going to be B2. Go ahead and type in a colon, and then the last bit of the data will be B13. So type in B13, and then you have to close out the formula by closing the parentheses, and then just go ahead and tap enter on your keyboard. And as you can see, it gives us the sum of all of our sales for the year right there. Now, if anything changes, let's say this changes to 1,000, you can see that changes that value as well. So anytime you change anything here, this is going to change as well. The next formula that I'm going to show you, and I'll do it below here, is going to be subtraction. You go ahead and tap on the equal sign on your keyboard, type in minus, and then start with your parentheses. And then what you'll want to do is, for me, I want to get the difference between December. So for me, that's going to be B13. And then I'll go ahead and type a comma, and the difference in October, which is B11. And then I'll close that out, and I'll go ahead and hit enter on my keyboard. And as you can see, the difference of those two is $2,900. So that's how you do subtraction. Next, we're going to have multiplication. Let's say you want to multiply the sales time the number of units. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but let's just say we do. In order to multiply, go ahead and hit the equal symbol on, go ahead and type the equal symbol on your keyboard, and go ahead and start with your parentheses like this. And we are going to go ahead and go to B12. And then the multiplication symbol within Google Sheets is the asterisk symbol. So it's going to be the asterisk symbol. So it's going to be Shift 8. And then go ahead and type in the next thing that you want to multiply. So that would be, for me, C12. So go to C12. Close it out with the parentheses. Always remember, you have to start with the parentheses and end with the parentheses, and hit enter on your keyboard, and that'll give you the value that you want. And in order to do division, tap the equal symbol again on your keyboard, open it up with the parentheses, and then go ahead and type in your numbers that you want to divide. So for me, I want to do B13 right here, and then it's going to be a / to signify division, and then we want to do C13 just like so. Close that out with a parentheses, click enter on your keyboard, and you've now divided that. And with anything, all of these values will change. Let's say I change this to 6,500. Look at that. All of my values here will continue to continuously change because the formula is already set in place. An easy way to get to formulas within Google Sheets is to go up here to these three dots right here and go to More. You may actually see it on your screen. It really just depends on how large your monitor is. And then right here, you can see you'll have a couple of options where you see functions, and then you have some options where you can insert a chart. But you can just go here and go to functions, and it automatically should come up. So you can go ahead and click on like sum, and then it'll go ahead and type it in for you. And then it'll actually show you down here in green. It tries to help you. If you click the drop-down menu, it'll tell you and give you examples of what the values and everything should mean within a certain function. But I'm going to go ahead and select these options here, and then go ahead and close that out. And you can see that's a very easy way. Also, as you can see here, not only can the autofill feature fill in like patterns, but it sees that this is the sum of this number. This is the sum of these numbers. It sees that this is subtracting specific numbers. If I click and drag down on this here, it will not just autofill random numbers. It'll actually autofill specific formulas. So it's going to take the formula from over here and autofill it over here. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of got a really cool smart feature that allows you to autofill that information in. All right, now we're going to talk about functions really quickly. Functions allow you to do things well beyond just adding numbers or subtracting them. It allows you to get percentages and minimums and maximums and so much more. To get a function, what you'd want to do is just, click into a cell, go up here to the three dots, or find this little icon that says functions, and you can see here, this function option here gives you an amazing range of different things. So let's say we wanted the average of these numbers here. We would select into that cell there, go to our functions, go to average here, and it's going to average by selecting these values and then hitting enter, and there's going to be that average. So these functions give you so many different options. All right, and the next thing, in my opinion, alongside pivot tables, is one of the most powerful things to do within Google Sheets, which is VLookup, which allows you to have a customized search for your table and data sets. So what we want to do to get started with VLookup is we want to find say November. We want from November. So we type in November, and then we want our VLookup to be in this next cell over here. Also, if you ever need to navigate from cell to cell on your keyboard, you just hit Tab, and it goes to the next one over. And if you hit Enter, it goes to the next one down, okay? So right here in this cell, we go ahead and type in the equals symbol, and then we go ahead and type in VLookup, and we go ahead and start that option there. With anything, you'll see the little help options here. If you hit the little arrow key, it'll hide that for you there. So we want to do our search key. So for this, the search key is going to be November. So we'll just select this option there. Then what we'll do is we'll type in a comma, and now we need our range. The range for this is going to be month and sales. So we'll just go ahead and click and hold here. So we'll go to month and sales, which is this option here. And then we'll go ahead and type in a comma once more, and now our index. The index is going to be where it comes from, which would be, in this case, column 2 or column B. Again, this will differ depending on how many columns you have selected, so we will type in 2, and then what we'll do is we'll close that out with the parentheses and just hit Enter on our keyboard. Now the power in this is that we can now go into our search box here, which is cell F13, and change the value of this to, say, July, and hit Enter. And look at that. It tells us the value of what it is in July. All right, now we have our wonderful worksheet that we want to go ahead and expand, and we want to add multiple sheets. So what you see here is an individual sheet, and it is named Sheet 1 here at the bottom of our screen. If we go and click on the addition symbol here that says Add Sheet, it's going to bring up a brand new sheet within this workbook. As you can see, they automatically name it Sheet 2. So if we double click here on the little tab here, it allows us to go and actually rename that actual sheet. And we can do the same over here if we wanted to as well. Another thing we can do is we can click and hold on these tabs and drag them wherever we want them. We can go ahead and click the drop-down menu and do a number of things like rename. We could duplicate, we could delete, we could even change the color. We want this to be a nice orange color, and as you can see, it's now notated with orange here. But if we right-click on a tab, we can either move it, or if we wanted to, we could even delete that tab there, and we're back to our original one-tab sheet. Now let's talk about the sort and filter options within Google Sheets. If you go and let's say you just click on a column and you want to sort from least to most, right? And we right-click here, we can create a filter here. We can do a number of things, but let's say we do it and we sort it on that column. What's going to happen is it's going to mess up and mix up our data. So in order to create sorts and filters the right way, you want to actually select all of your data, so the entire table, all of your data, and go up here to these 3 dots, or find the option here where it says Create a Filter. If we click on Create a Filter, and when we do that, we're now going to see these 3 lines come up at the top of all of our columns right here. And what we're going to want to do is just click into that, and we can see now that we can sort this A to Z. And so what I want to do is add a filter. So now what I'll do is with these 3 lines that come available to us here is we'll click on them, and under the filter, we'll go to Filter by Condition, and we'll click the drop-down menu here, and we'll say greater than, let's say, 1,500. Okay, so anything greater than 1,500 and click OK. Everything that is above the 1,500 range will show up. So now what we can do is we can go over here up to where the filters here, Filter View, click the drop-down menu, go to Filter 1, and it'll automatically apply that filter. One of the best things to do for you probably is to go to Filter 1, go to Settings, and go to Rename, and just say like 1,500 and above, right? And that allows you to see what that filter range is. We'll close out of that. We'll see our view again. Now, if we go up here, you can go to 1,500 and above, and it'll show you that specific filter within your spreadsheet. And you just hit the little X here to clear or not to see that filter any longer. All right, and the next thing I want to talk about is charts within Google Sheets. I have a full video tutorial that I'll link in the description of this video, but basically what you would want to do to insert a chart is go ahead and select your data that you want to build the chart from, and go to Insert, and then where you see Chart, just go to Chart, and then you're going to see a new chart. And if you want to resize that chart, you just click the little boxes on the exterior there and click and drag to make it as large or small as you want it to look. Google Sheets automatically takes liberty and goes ahead and adds stuff where it thinks it should be. But if you ever want to edit or change anything about your chart, go over here to the chart editor once you have your chart selected. And under setup, you can change the type of chart. So we can make this a bar chart like you see here. We can even go down and make it a pie chart if we wanted to. I actually like the suggested chart, which is going to be this one here. Shows our months at the bottom, total sales on the top, going to be month and sales over here on the left. And then the red is going to be the total number of units. So if you ever want to adjust anything within the chart, all of these things are going to be different over here depending on the chart type, but you'll have your data range here. So if you click the little range box here, it lets you know that you've selected A1, D13. If you want to, you can click that there and you can just select the data here and pull it up and it'll show you what you've selected, right? And if you want to manually enter it, you just, highlight that, remove that there, and then type in your data range as whatever you want it to be. So that's it. You can go in here and adjust the way that your chart looks and you can customize it. But if you do want a deep dive into charts within Google Sheets, just use our video in the description of this one. Next, we're going to be talking about pivot tables. Now, people hear pivot tables and they get scared and they think, oh no, what are pivot tables? That just sounds so scary. A pivot table allows you to analyze data with so much ease. So what you want to do is you want to select the data. So we'll go ahead and select the data that we want to have. So we'll select our table and the data here, and then we'll go to Insert, and then we'll go to Pivot Table. Pops up and says, Create Pivot Table on a new sheet or an existing sheet. We want to do a new sheet and go to Create. All right, so under Values, you'd probably want to do Sales, right? So you go here and you click and drag that there. So this is going to be the sales, right? So you can see this is sales. This is your months up here. And summarize by, you can do a sum, you can do an average. So we'll go average here. This is the average of your sales. And then you can show as a default, or you can even change how you want to show that, right? And then columns or rows, you can just drag that in there and you can either make those under columns or you can click and hold and you can make it show up as rows. Now, what is the benefit of doing this? The benefit of a pivot table is the flexibility of being able to see everything at a glance by just clicking on a few buttons and drop-down menus, right? I can remove that there. Basically, this is showing me that I can drag my months here under rows, and as you can see, now I can see it. I can see everything that I want to see. I can see my average. Now I can go back to my values, and let's say now I want to see a median. Well, I can now see my median. Or let's say I now want to see the sum of that or the total. Now you can see that. Now, if I wanted to, I could even add filters. I can go to Add here, and then I could add filters if I had even more columns or data points down below. So the power of a pivot table is being able to drag and drop data and then have something instantly be produced for you of what you're looking for. All right, and then lastly, I want to talk about sharing your sheets with your coworkers or whatever it may be. If you want to share a Google Sheets document, there's a big blue button up here that says share. If you click on that there, you can then basically type in an email address. So let's go ahead and type in an email address. As you can see here, Andrew Dennis, I'm going to go ahead and add him as an editor, and you can give them different roles. They can only view, they can just comment, or they can even edit. You can give them a message here, and by checking this, it will notify them via email. Also, you can copy the link to this, and if you copy this link right here and you provide it out on the internet, anybody with this link will be able to edit this spreadsheet. So beware when you put the link out there, right here, when you have editor, it's going to allow them to copy the link. Now, as a viewer, they can duplicate it kind of like as a template and then basically edit and adjust it their own way if they want to. But in order to share it, you would just go and click the blue send button here and you are good to go. And when multiple people are viewing or seeing a different document at the same time, you'll see their pictures up here on the toolbar as well. And you can hover over and see who's viewing the spreadsheet at that exact moment. Also, something I failed to mention was right here, you can see when the last edit was. Last edit was 2 minutes ago. And then if you are working or collaborating on a spreadsheet, you have an option here to open comment history, and it'll show you the comment history. You can add a comment to a specific cell and then go ahead and place the comment. And as you can see, there'll be a little kind of like a sticky note in the upper right-hand corner. When you highlight over it, it'll show you that comment there. And then if you wanted to, you can check that off and that'll remove that comment and it'll show you the history over on the side. Now, I know this was a lot, but I hope this was a comprehensive way to get you started as a beginner within Google Sheets. If you have any further questions, put those in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this helps you out, and I will see you guys in the next video.